Mort, I can tell you that this has been a very long and frustrating night for both the family members of DeJuan SIMS and for the Livonia Police Department. They still are no closer to finding this little 4-year-old.
She had lost the baby. She was like distraught, hysterical, and I don't know, I'm not an expert on Polygraph. I don't know anything about him, but I think it goes back with your emotions. He can't tell you if you're not.
After extensive review of the videos, he was never at Wonderland Mall that we could see.
Good evening. The big story tonight, more questions than answers, and the search for a missing 4-year-old boy. Tonight, police and frantic family members are all asking, where's DeJuan? Yesterday, he disappeared from a shopping mall in Livonia. Tonight, more than 24 hours later, there still is no new clue. Night Beat's Ann Thompson is standing by live right now at the Livonia Police Department with more. And what's the latest?
Mort, I can tell you that this has been a very long and frustrating night for both the family members of DeJuan SIMS and for the Livonia Police Department. They still are no closer to finding this little 4-year-old boy almost 36 hours after his disappearance. Now, tonight, police spent a lot of time questioning DeJuan's mother. In fact, she has been here at the police department since about 2 this afternoon. It was extensive questioning. They talked to her. They took her to the scene of where DeJuan supposedly disappeared. Then they brought her back here for more questioning. All the while, DeJuan's biological father did his best to help out. He hung posters at Northland Mall, see if anybody there had seen the child and perhaps the person who abducted him. He also prayed for his son's safe return. Return of his 4-year-old son, DeJuan.
Mix up, whoever has him, I wish they would just please come forth, because I miss him and I just want him home. And
Zachary SIMS pleads for the safe return of his 4-year-old son, DeJuan. A boy SIMS has no... As you can see, we're having technical problems. The young man you saw there is Zachary SIMS. He is the father of DeJuan SIMS. Tonight, he came here to be questioned by Livonia police. Today, police spent much of their time re-interviewing witnesses, talking to people to make sure that everybody's story was straight. One of the people they talked to was Zachary SIMS. He took a lie detector test tonight, and he says he passed. Now, as we told you earlier tonight, DeJuana Harris, that is DeJuan SIMS' mother, she took a lie detector test yesterday. Family members say they do not know what the outcome of her test was. As we said, police questioned her extensively tonight. They took her back to Wonderland Mall so she could show them just exactly where her son disappeared. Now, her story goes that the two of them were Christmas shopping about 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. They walked through the Target store and through the front doors out into the mall. She says she was talking to her son. Suddenly, she just turned around and he was gone.
She says she was talking to her son. Suddenly, she just turned around and he was gone.
It's easy to see how a child can be easily distracted in a store and even disappear from mom. To a child, a store is a giant playground with places to hide and run. It can all happen in just an instant.
I turned my head for a second to write a check. He took off. I was a wreck. I was just a wreck. I didn't know. I panicked. I didn't know where he was.
Well, fortunately, there are some new beepers on the market which make it easier to find lost children. This $40 beeper system is the Pocket Wee Beeps. It goes off when your child is more than 15 feet away, but it loses its power at 50 feet. The beeper kit runs for $149. It can actually transmit through walls. But the favorite gadget is the Child Guardian, because at $34.95, it lets the kid do the beeping, which means he can trigger a loud alarm even if he is snatched.
Jill, the big story at 6, where is DeJuan Sims? The search continues this morning for the 4-year-old boy who disappeared from a Livonia mall on Sunday. He's been missing now for 2 days, and police wonder how DeJuan could have disappeared from the mall without anyone seeing him. In fact, a source close to the investigation tells the Newsbeat that DeJuan's mother was questioned about his disappearance and failed a lie detector test.
Tells the Newsbeat that DeJuan's mother was questioned about his disappearance and failed a lie detector test.
The Newsbeat's Bob Bennett joins us live from the Livonia Police Department with the latest on the investigation. Bob, what do you know?
Well, Catherine, we don't know very much at this point, at this hour, because police out here right now are not talking, but sources do tell News 4 the mother of DeJuan Sims, DeJuana Harris, did take a lie detector test, and she flunked it. As you mentioned, the boy has been missing now for 2 days, and police don't have a lot of new information. He's of average height and weight for a 4-year-old. When last seen, DeJuan Sims of Detroit was wearing a striped hooded jacket, blue sweatpants, and black sneakers. His mother, DeJuana Harris, told police she just walked out of the Target store at Wonderland Mall Sunday afternoon with DeJuan at her side when he simply vanished. Police questioned the mother and other family members Monday night before sending them home. The officer in charge was asked if there are any similarities between the disappearance of DeJuan and the infamous Susan Smith case in South Carolina.
We're conducting an investigation in this manner as we would in any situation like this, regardless of what happened in any other state or at any other time. We're giving it our 100% best here in this investigation. It has nothing to do with anybody else or any other state.
You always look at the parents first.
We look at everything. Every avenue is open to us, and that's what we're doing at this time.
As we said, police at this hour will not comment about that report of the mother taking the lie detector test and flunking it. But DeJuana Harris, that's DeJuan's mother, her sister said that DeJuana took the test because she wanted to help the police, and she was very nervous when she took it, and that's perhaps why she failed. As we said, police will not comment, but in the meantime, officials at Wonderland Mall are offering a $5,000 reward for information about little DeJuan Sims. Catherine?
Bob, any new information on the surveillance videotapes that the police are checking right now?
No, they're not talking at all about that. Perhaps they will later today.
Okay. Bob Bennett reporting live from Livonia, and we'll continue to stay on top of this important story. That was the last time she says she saw him, and no one has seen him since. Beverly Harris, her mother, has kept a vigil here all afternoon and evening. Police brought her back for questioning tonight. Then at about 10 o'clock, a little after 10 o'clock, DeJuana and Beverly Harris left here through a back door to avoid the media. They did not want to answer any questions about what police said to them tonight. Now, Zachary Sims tells us that what he gathers from the line of questioning that police put to him tonight, that there is no doubt in his mind that they think that DeJuana Harris may have had something to do with their son's disappearance. I understand that our tape is ready, and let's send it. No, we don't have any tape, Mort. I'm sorry, it's just one of those nights.
But the bottom line here
is they still don't know where this little boy is.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, Ann, because we had heard a report earlier tonight that police felt there were some inconsistencies in the story that the mother told.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mort, police are being very tight-lipped, at least officially, what they are saying to us about what they think of the mother's story. They say they have no suspects, and within the last hour, I can tell you that a police spokesperson, Sergeant Ken Marlowe, came out here and told us that he has no reason, they have no reason at this point to doubt the mother's story. As you can imagine, because of the tragedy in South Carolina that happened just a few weeks ago with Susan Smith confessing to killing her 2 boys after a nationwide search of several days, police, of course, are focusing on the family. That is not unusual. It's usually the first place they look to see if there were any family troubles, any custody disputes, and so that is a natural place to go.
In your 6 o'clock report tonight, you did refer to the surveillance cameras in the Target store, and apparently police were analyzing that videotape. What have they come up with from that?
At this point, Mort, they say they have found nothing. They continue to look at those tapes. In fact, there was a detective within the last hour that was examining those tapes. What they're hoping to find is to find video of the mother and son together, and then ideally, wherever this boy went, whether he went off by himself or whether someone took him.
All right, well, even with the technical difficulties, you've done an excellent job of it.
And our top story today, the mother of a missing 4-year-old has now been put to the test again. That's our top story. Dewana Harris was back at the Livonia Police Department for further questioning and underwent another lie detector test. She told police her son, Dewan SIMS, wandered off while they were shopping at Wonderland Mall on Sunday. TV2's John Noel joins us now live from the Livonia Police Department with the very latest. John.
Catherine, Livonia police are not calling Dewana Harris a suspect in her son's disappearance. However, they do say she probably holds the key that will crack this case. Dewana Harris, along with her sister and mother, was back at the Livonia Police Department today answering more questions about her son's disappearance. Harris told police she was shopping in Livonia's Wonderland Mall Sunday afternoon when her 4-year-old son, Dewan SIMS, vanished. Police combed the mall but were unable to uncover a trace of the boy. And now there are reports Harris took and failed a lie detector test.
When she took the polygraph test, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, the night that she had lost the baby. She was like distraught, hysterical, and I don't know, I'm not an expert on polygraph. I don't know anything about them, but I think it goes by what your emotions is. It can't tell you if you're lying, but it tells you how your body reacts. I think they took it at a bad time. And that's why we're down here today, for her to take another one. And that's all I'm saying. It's just that there is no way my child would hurt her child.
Livonia police would neither confirm nor deny Harris failed the test, but says she is probably the key to this case.
I've been told by the grandmother of the young boy that the mother is here retaking a polygraph test. I won't comment on anything as to a polygraph test. The mother is here. She is our only witness at this time that was with the boy at the mall and can help us with the actual facts as they relate to his disappearance. So, yes, she's our best witness at this time, and she is back speaking with investigators.
But Harris says police have been treating her more like a suspect than a witness.
I'm not going to stand accused of hurting my own baby. I'm not. I mean, I understand the world is sick, and there's a lot of mothers out there, but this is not the case this time.
Harris was only here for about 45 minutes, so it is unlikely that she did indeed retake that polygraph test. Now, police say they are still treating this as a missing persons case and not a kidnapping. They've also had dozens of tips. However, police say they cannot call any of them promising at this time. Reporting live from Livonia, John Noel, TV2 Eyewitness News.
So, John, they're not considering her a suspect yet. Have they questioned anyone else in the family, other family members?
Yes, they have. As a matter of fact, we've been told that the father of the young boy and Harris's boyfriend both were given polygraph tests, and they tell us, the two gentlemen tell us that they passed them.
All right, thank you very much. John Noel reporting live. Have police questioned other family members, as John mentioned. Right now, we'll have more information on that story later today.
Here's of Dewan. It's the first videotape we've seen of the 4-year-old since his disappearance on Sunday. And Dewan's grandmother now prepares to answer questions about an insurance policy she took out on the little boy's life shortly before he disappeared.
The questions about an insurance policy she took out on the little boy's life shortly before he disappeared. An insurance policy she took out on the little boy's life shortly before he disappeared.
Good evening, I'm Hugh Perkins.
And I'm Rich Fisher. Thanks for being with us tonight. Dewan's mother says one moment her son was walking next to her in the mall, and the next he was gone. The 4-year-old seems to have disappeared without a trace. Police have received hundreds of tips, but so far, all leads have hit a dead end. TV2's Tamara Iwerts joins us now live from the Livonia Police Department with the latest on the search for Dewan. Tamara?
Well, Rich, without a doubt, police here are very frustrated. The tip line continues to ring. The tips keep coming in. The detectives are checking them out, but so far they have all been empty leads. In fact, investigators say they still have no proof that Dewan SIMS was ever even at the Wonderland Mall on Sunday, but they keep hoping to hear from somebody who did see him there. This home video shows little Dewan SIMS in happier times. His mom says he disappeared from her side Sunday at the Wonderland Mall. Dewan's mother and grandmother were with police as they bought a replica of the jacket he was wearing that day. Investigators hope it will jog the memory of anyone who might have seen the little boy.
It's a kind of a cloth coat, and it has a multicolored lining, as you can see, and as well the hood, the interior of the hood lining is multicolored also. We believe that Dewan SIMS, it was kind of a cold day on Sunday, had the hood up over his head, and would have had these tie strings tight to keep him warmer.
Dewana Harris tells police she had a run-in of sorts with another driver as she pulled into the mall parking lot. They were both waiting for the same spot she parked in. Investigators hope that motorist will come forward, and they want everyone to take a close look at her red Thunderbird, hoping someone remembers seeing her behind the wheel last weekend.
We're looking at all possibilities. Maybe she was followed to the Target store by someone. So if she was seen driving this car from her neighborhood and you saw her, we would like to know that.
Investigators have retraced Dewana Harris's steps through Wonderland Mall. As Wayne County cops comb through another part of Rouge Park, police are actively searching for Dewan despite all their dead ends, while his mom and grandma pray for his safe return home. While police may be disheartened, but they certainly are not giving up hope. They have received well over 300 tips. They continue to wait for the one that will eventually pay off and hopefully lead them to Dewan Sims. Reporting live from Livonia, Tamara iWorks TV2 Eyewitness News, prime time.
All right, Tamara, thank you. Police are reviewing all of the surveillance tapes from the Wonderland Mall, but so far they have not seen any pictures of Dewan or his mother.
Police are reviewing all of the surveillance tapes from the Wonderland Mall, but so far they have not seen any pictures of Dewan or his mother.
It's been 72 hours, and 4-year-old Dewan Harris is still missing tonight. 4-year-old Dewan Sims disappeared Sunday. His mother claims he vanished while she was shopping at the Wonderland Mall, but a cloud of suspicion has surrounded her since she called police to report Dewan missing. Dewana denies any wrongdoing and issues a mother's plea for his return. Tonight Beat's Doug Evans is standing by live right now at Livonia Police Headquarters with the latest. Doug?
Well, more, the Livonia Police Department is, as it appears tonight, very quiet. We're told that investigators, most of them have gone home for the night, although the tip line remains open. One thing that we do know, before investigators left here tonight, they watched a videotape. On that videotape, Dewan Sims' mother, Dewana Harris, today.
Dewana Harris's news conference ended in protest over media coverage of her son Dewan's disappearance.
Y'all focusing on what's this and what's that, who I went with, who I sleep with, who I live with. That's not the focus. The focus is finding Dewan. He's 4 years old, he's alone, and he needs to come home to his mother.
Whatever Dewana Harris thinks of the media, clearly the focus remains on finding her son. At the mall where he disappeared last Sunday, and at the police department. The Newsbeat is told that tips continue to pour in, but so far, none has panned out. Hope is not a meaningless word to Dewan's grandma. Hope means he will be found. Hope means her daughter is telling the truth.
My child would not hurt her child. She knows she had no reason to, because if something else was bothering her, she knows that she could have dropped him or killed him. And I'd have took care of him until she was all right.
Susan Smith, the woman who admits to drowning her 2 sons and leading investigators in a charade that the boys had been kidnapped. The similarities have not gone unnoticed by police and by Dewana Harris.
I feel that a lot of the turns that they're taking is because of the Susan Smith case. And I do understand what the Livonia police have to do, so that's why I have been cooperating with them.
We can tell you that Livonia police watched this news conference too, to see how well Dewana Sims cooperated with reporters, checking the consistency of what she told them and what she tells us.
The only thing that I want the public to know is my only concern is finding my son. I really do not know what happened to my child. We walked through Target store, yes we did. Whoever has my baby, I know he's safe, and I know you're taking good care of him. What I'm hoping is that somebody may have ran across my child. Everybody loves you, and we waiting on you to come home. We got your Christmas ready, and just come home.
So what did Livonia investigators think of Dewana Harris's news conference today? One source tells the Night Beat that he was more concerned about her demeanor, her adversarial nature. What does that have to do with the investigation? Possibly nothing.
Investigators are still intrigued by the demeanor of the missing youngster's mom. She does not appear to be distraught by the ordeal. What's more, no one at the Wonderland Mall recalls her frantically searching for her missing son, something any parent would do if their child vanished in a public place. Beverly Harris, the boy's grandmother, confirms she went to Detroit Fire Headquarters this afternoon to get paperwork related to the life insurance policy because of police questions about it.
That's the problem. I can't remember. It was either 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Was it last week?
No, it wasn't last week. It was not last week. It was like either 1st of of December or end of November. It was after Thanksgiving, but it was not last week.
Did the police ask you to go get that, or did you just decide?
No, I volunteered to go get it because it kept coming up. And I'm the one that took the policy out. My daughter did not even know about the policy until they started asking questions, and she said, "Mama, do you have a policy? Did you admit yourself by getting policies?" And I said, "Yes, I did take the policy on me and DeJuan."
My daughter did not even know about the policy until they started asking questions, and she said, "Mama, do you have a policy? Did you admit yourself by getting policies?" And I said, "Yes, I did take the policy on me and DeJuan."
And I said, "Yes, I did take the policy on me and DeJuan."
So did they ask you about it? The police, did they ask you about the policy?
No, I don't know who. See, it kept coming up, so I volunteered the information to them to let them know that I'm the one that took the policy out.
But you discussed it with them?
Yes, I have.
Beverly Harris says the police haven't asked her to take a lie detector test about the case. She says she's willing to do so if they want her to. In Northwest Detroit, Ben Wade, TV2 Eyewitness News, prime time.
Tonight, tensions are rising as the search for DeJuan SIMS comes up empty. It's been 2 days since the toddler vanished from a mall in Livonia. This morning, after extensive questioning and 2 lie detector tests, the child's mother stormed out of police headquarters. She says she's being treated as a suspect. TV2's Lauren Bishop is live outside DeJuan's grandmother's house. That's where the family is gathered tonight.
Well, Rich, all night family and friends have been dropping by, picking up more of these flyers to distribute throughout the city. But they're also defending the missing boy's mother. DeJuan Harris has been inside since she returned from police headquarters this morning, and we're told she's so distraught she's nearly incoherent. She feels police are pointing the finger at her.
She is not the sole focus of the investigation. We're exploring every possibility, treating it as a missing person case. We have not taken our investigation and focused it on one possibility.
Police are not calling 25-year-old DeJuan Harris a suspect in her son's disappearance, and they say they have no evidence of foul play. But they're not ruling anything out. 4-year-old DeJuan SIMS disappeared Sunday, his mother says, while the two were shopping at the Wonderland Mall in Livonia. And she's told TV2 point blank she had nothing to do with DeJuan's disappearance.
I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty of harming my own child. I don't know what happened to DeJuan beyond Wonderland Mall.
Police sources say the mother has failed 2 lie detector tests, although officially investigators will not comment on the polygraphs.
These sources say the mother has failed 2 lie detector tests. These sources say the mother has failed 2 lie detector tests, although officially investigators will not comment on the polygraph.
Now, this new development in the case raises some serious questions about the missing 4-year-old, DeJuan's grandmother. Beverly Harris joins us now live to answer some of those questions. And Ms. Harris, we thank you for being with us. We know this is a very difficult time for you and your family. First of all, Ms. Harris, why did you take out a policy on a 4-year-old boy?
Because I was preparing him for college. The policy is a cash value as it matures. So I was thinking that he would use it for college.
Well, exactly when did you purchase this policy and how much was it for?
Okay, I purchased it either the first week of December or the last week of November, but I didn't purchase it. It's a company that deals through the fire department.
So, but you do pay premiums on the policy, I would imagine.
Yes, they take out a payroll deduction.
Now, are you listed as the beneficiary on this policy?
Yes, I believe I am.
And how much is it for?
I believe it's for $25,000.
Now, you have other grandchildren, don't you?
No, I do not.
So, DeJuan is your only one?
My only baby.
Your only baby. Why didn't you tell DeJuan about the policy?
I didn't think about it. It just wasn't a big deal. I'm planning on taking policies out on DeJuan and my daughter, Miss Delina. So it just wasn't nothing I was, like making a big deal about. I was just getting my paperwork in order.
What sort of questions have police been asking you about the policy?
They just asked me, did I know of a policy on DeJuan? And I said, yes, I had taken one out. And then they asked me how much was it for, and I told them I wasn't sure because I looked at 2 policies. And that was about it. They haven't really mentioned, they asked for the paperwork.
And you did turn that over to them today?
No, I haven't.
But you intend to at some point?
Yes, I do.
Police say they have no proof that DeJuan was ever in Wonderland Mall. I know that you had a part-time job there at one point. Did you ever see DeJuan there that Sunday he disappeared?
No. When my daughter contacted me, he was gone.
You had a part-time job there at one point. Did you ever see DeJuan there that Sunday he disappeared? when my daughter contacted me, he was gone.
Harris left the station distraught and in tears after just 45 minutes Tuesday morning.
I just know that she was really upset, and she's saying that they badgered, I want my baby back, they can't get my baby back. I just want my baby back. Please let them get my baby back. That's what she was saying the whole time, and that's what she's been saying ever since.
The child's natural father, who passed his own polygraph test, has said Dawana Harris is a good mother who wouldn't harm her son.
I don't know what to think right now. I just want to find my son. I want to get him home. I want to see him. I love him. I just want to hold him right now.
Now, Livonia police have expanded their search to include the neighborhoods outside the mall. As for reports that police obtained a warrant to search Dawana Harris's own house, we asked her mother, and she says she's aware of no search of her daughter's house. Reporting live from Detroit's northwest side, Lauren Bishop, TV2 Eyewitness News, primetime.
Lauren, I know you haven't probably been able to confirm that she has flunked 2 lie detector tests, but if indeed that has happened, what is next for prosecutors and police in this matter?
Right now, they say that she is not the sole suspect. In fact, she is not considered a suspect at all. They haven't ruled out anything in this case yet. They're continuing to pursue all leads and trying to find this boy.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much.
Have you talked to your daughter? Have you had a heart-to-heart talk with her about this?
I've had several heart-to-heart talks with my daughter about this.
What is she telling you? Do you have any theories about what might have happened to your grandson?
My daughter says that she entered the Wonderland Mall, went into Target, came out of Target, walked towards my job that I had, my part-time job. That's my theory. That's what happened, and he just got away from her.
Do you believe that someone might have taken the boy? Do you believe that he is with possibly some relatives, friends? Where do you think he might be?
Well, I believe that he is possibly with, I don't think relatives or friends, but someone did see a child wandering around that mall and took him for whatever reason. And I think it's just a lonely person who saw a friendly child.
Why don't you think this is showing up on the videotapes, though? Why don't you think it's obvious that he was there on the tapes?
Because I don't know why he's not showing up on the videotapes, but I think a Target spokesperson said that tape was not 100%, and it does have glitches. I believe I heard that over, I think, your channel.
All right. Well, Ms. Harris, I know this is a very, very difficult time, and we thank you for your time, and we all hope for the best in this case.
Thank you.
And your family.
Okay.
Little Dawana. Of course, police cannot solve this case alone. They're going to need your help, the public's help, to find Dawana. If you have any information, please give them a call. A special tip line is...
It's a missing persons case that has remained unsolved for, 3 decades now. It was 30 years ago today when 4-year-old Dawana Sims simply vanished.
You know, his mom, Dawana Harris, told police they went to Wonderland Mall in Livonia. She said the boy was by her side one moment and gone the next.
Their mama loves you, Bookie loves you, everybody loves you, and we waiting on you to come home. We got your Christmas ready, and just come home.
Back 30 years ago, Dawana Sims, a 4-year-old child, went missing here in Livonia. What do you remember about that case?
Well, I remember, getting called into work eventually after the initial missing report. And then actually we had a large search that ended up taking place. And, the coordination of searching different areas for, obviously, Dawana, the questioning of his mother who reported him missing, and then the subsequent days following all those events where we were looking in different areas of Detroit, Livonia, and areas where he may be discovered, trying to follow up on different leads, different tips from people being called in, and just the amount of, first of all, media and the resources that we were utilizing when it had to come to manpower to search for him. We had other departments also helping us, of course, and really for months it was just kind of frantic as far as following up on every lead. As you can imagine, with a little boy that's missing, you get a lot of tips, and every one of those tips has to be followed up on.
Can you talk to me about your initial impression when you heard about a child just vanishing from his mother's side inside of a mall? And I guess take us through how the story evolved from there as far as the surveillance video and tracking the movements.
Right. So when he was originally reported missing, of course, you would think that anybody's reaction would be, as a mother and or a father, you know, regardless of which parent or somebody who's in charge of a child, that it would be frantic where, oh my gosh, my child's missing right now. What do I do? But reflecting back and listening and being there, seeing the story unfold in the calmness that was presented by her, the mother, and you're looking at this from the outside looking in, trying to help, trying to be empathetic and compassionate. And then you're thinking, if this was me, I wouldn't even be able to function right now. And then you go back and we're watching the videotapes and watching the reactions, the unedited reactions of her as she's going through the mall without Dewan. Things just didn't seem to be adding up the way that she was reporting it to us.
How difficult was it for you guys, knowing that you're dealing with a missing child, that maybe something happened to this child and that there's no trace of it?
Well, you know, as a police officer and back then, you know, we're looking to help the child out and obviously recover him for his mother, but at the same time, as we get this information, we go from having high hopes of recovering him to the story's not matching. Unfortunately, we think something other than him being abducted occurred. But not knowing that for sure, we're doing our due diligence to try to bring this to an end and to a resolution that, you know, we recover Dewan and hopefully alive. That was the whole goal of the whole situation.
Captain Montag with Livonia Police has been on this case from the beginning when Dewan Sims went missing in 1994. A local man we are not identifying claims he's that little boy.
He came in a couple days ago.
December 11th, 1994, inside of this Wonderland Mall in Livonia, Dewan's mother, Joanna Jackson, told the police her 4-year-old boy simply disappeared. Captain Tag was assigned and always had doubts about that story.
I was here at the department, and we looked at all the videos, we checked everything, and we never saw Dewan with Mrs. Sims.
Now, more than 2 decades later, a man walked into the police station saying he might be Sims. Police say they first heard about it after the man posted his beliefs on social media and concerns about what his parents told him about his childhood. But at the police station, he asked police to keep this a secret, despite his Facebook posts.
And I guess what's odd is that he claimed that he didn't want any of this information out in the media. And from what I understand, he's put this out on social media.
Police took his DNA and are waiting to see if he's a match.
We were going to reach out, obviously, to the family and provide his information and see if they wanted to contact him.
And the missing boy's mother has been working with police and has spoken with the man claiming he's her son. Topping our news here at 6, new information on the Dewan Sims saga.
The woman everyone wants to hear from, since a man went on social media saying he is Dewan, has been doing some investigating of her own. Back in December of 1994, Dewanna Sims, now Dewanna Harris, told us she felt she was being treated as a suspect in her son's disappearance.
And now it appears she's willing to work with police on the new lead. We broke here at 6 just yesterday. Sean Lay joins us with what he's learned about that interaction.
New tonight, Dewan's mom back in touch with Livonia police investigators talking about that day in 1994 when she says her little boy vanished. Now, 25 years to the day, December 11th, this past Wednesday, a man walks into here, the Livonia Police Department, telling them, I am Dewan Sims. He gives them a DNA sample. Local 4 broke this case. Now this case is breaking wide open again. Coming off Livonia police evidence boxes in the missing case of Dewan Sims, reopening a heartbreaking case that's never been solved.
We give it 100%, and we're going to give this 100% to see what the outcome will be.
Dozens of security camera videotapes never showed Dewan at the mall with his mom. Now, a major twist, a man telling police that he believes he is Dewan, and he's given a DNA sample to police. The big development today, Dewan's mother, Dewanna, now living out of state, says she, in fact, has questioned the man claiming to be her son.
They talked.
Asking him things that only she would know about her son.
Only that she would know or they would know. Personal
physical marks, etc.
And he could not answer?
He was not able to answer.
DeJuan's mom wanting the public to know tonight she will do anything to get to the bottom of this.
That she's all in as far as being cooperative with us and with the investigation, and that she's willing to obviously be contacted, whatever we need, questions answered, and to go from there.
So let's go from there. We're told that DeJuan's mother did ask this guy for DeJuan's birth date. He couldn't answer, didn't know the answer to that. And about some birth marks that DeJuan had as a 4-year-old child, the guy could not answer either. The man suggested that the mom meet him at a police department. She said she was not comfortable with that, leaving it in the police's hands, guys. Police say this is a tip that came in. They have to chase it down. I'm being told, though, investigators are not optimistic it's going to lead anywhere. Back to you.
Yeah, this is such an intriguing story, Sean. So I'm wondering, now that the mom is cooperating, what's next in the investigation?
The DNA. It's all about the DNA. Yeah. DNA now from DeJuan and this man who gave a sample is in a lab in Texas. They're going to test it against DeJuan's mother's DNA and father's DNA. But get this, the turnaround on that is going to be 3 to 4 months. So we'll know sometime in the spring what the answer is going to be.
We will be following it.
Our Pamela Osborne talked to investigators and went through our archives to take a look back at that cold case that left so many here in Southeast Michigan chilled. Pamela joins us now. The case that generated so much attention. Hey, Pamela.
Hi, I was just 8 years old when DeJuan SIMS disappeared, living a couple of towns away from Livonia, the last place that he was reportedly seen alive. I remember the fear, the sense of urgency, and finding this little boy who to this day has yet to be found.
His face, his story, familiar to so many here in Southeast Michigan, all these years later.
DeJuan is of average height and weight for a 4-year-old.
His disappearance triggering a massive, exhaustive search.
We were looking in different areas of Detroit, Livonia.
It was here at the Wonderland Mall in Livonia where DeJuan's mother first reported him missing.
Mother was shopping at Target yesterday about 2 o'clock. She left Target to go into the main mall area, and she says that her boy disappeared at that time.
Livonia Police Captain Greg Yon was part of that search.
Well, I remember, getting called into work.
As they retraced DeJuana Harris's steps that December day, they found themselves with more questions than answers.
The entrance that she decided that she was telling us that she walked into, we never had her walking into that entrance with him, ever.
We never had her walking into that entrance with him, ever.
There was something else about those surveillance tapes that stood out. According to the captain, the way DeJuana moved through that mall with a security guard who helped search for DeJuan seemed off.
The video footage of her walking throughout the mall, walking with what I recall to see at one point was a security officer, and he's questioning people because she's not engaged with the officer. She's basically looking at stuff on the shelf. Your sixth sense kicks in and says, this isn't right.
But she's not engaged with the officer. She's basically looking at stuff on the shelf.
DeJuan's disappearance led every newscast.
Evidence that we have from the tapes would indicate that DeJuan SIMS was not at the mall.
Paula Tutman, Newsbeat.
Paula Tutman wasn't assigned to cover the story, but followed the developments closely.
I got stuck as a journalist and as a person on there's a missing child whose mother lied.
What I'm hoping is that somebody may have ran across my child, the type of child that he is. He's very friendly, and they're just using him for company right now.
A $5,000 reward for information was offered. And a 24-hour tip line was set up as detectives expanded their search closer to DeJuan's home in Detroit.
The search for DeJuan shifts today to vacant buildings, fields, and trash dumpsters in northwest Detroit.
DeJuana's story never changed, but it didn't appear to hold up either.
Sources do tell News 4 the mother of DeJuan SIMS, DeJuana Harris, did take a lie detector test, and she flunked it.
There would be 2 failed polygraph tests, reported sightings, and an anonymous letter.
And then there was this letter sent a month ago from someone claiming Dewan was killed and his body placed in a dumpster.
Every lead was followed, and each time police were no closer to finding Dewan. His case went cold until 2019.
Do you still feel to this day that Dewana Sims knew what happened to Dewan?
Yes, I do.
Captain Yan still believes someone is sitting on information that could give Dewan and all those who loved him and searched for him some closure.
The hopes at this time is, as time passes, you hope that somebody has heard or knows something about this case from 30 years ago, and that somebody with a heart that, knows what really happened would come forth and call our department and, give us some information that we could follow up on and hopefully bring the case to a resolution.
I reached out to Zachary Sims, that's Dewan's father. I did not hear back, but in October, he made a post for Dewan's 34th birthday saying he thinks about him every single day and is holding out hope that a miracle will happen, that Dewan will be found alive. Now's a good time to mention if you have any information at all, because as you heard there, Livonia police do feel that someone knows something.
The 25-year-long search for Dewan Sims continues tonight after Livonia police say a recent DNA test revealed no match.
Now let's get to Jason Colthorpe live in the newsroom with this update. Jason.
Yeah, the testing on this, guys, had been delayed for a long time, and it was because of the pandemic. So it took a year and a half for these results, and they are negative. Mike Cash is the name of the man who came forward in December of 2019. He had reached out to the family, he says, on Facebook, but was rebuffed. So he went to police saying he believed he was Dewan Sims, and he submitted a DNA test. Dewan Sims went missing right before Christmas in 1994 when he was 4 years old. His mother, Dwana Harris, told police she was at the Wonderland Mall in Livonia when Dewan disappeared. The investigation eventually centered on the family when police checked surveillance around the mall and never could determine that Dewan was ever there. 25 years later, the mystery only deepens now with these DNA results, which police say did not match those on file of Dewan's father.
The mother of Dewan Sims, the 4-year-old boy who disappeared from Wonderland Mall in Livonia, has died without ever finding out what happened to her son. This is a story we have been following for nearly 26 years to the day.
After years of tips, clues, and dead ends, Dewana Wiggins moved to North Carolina, where she passed earlier this week. Larry Spruill joins us live. And Larry, do we know what caused her death?
Well, Kimberly and Devin, I talked to Livonia police, and a spokesperson tells me that they got information she died from a heart attack. Now, years later, many people are still wondering what happened to little Dewan Sims. I asked police, since his mother is now dead, is this the end for this case?
We actually got the call this morning that Mrs. Sims had passed away.
Captain Ron Tegg with Livonia Police says he's had numerous conversations with Dewana Wiggins, the mother of little Dewan Sims, over the years. It's the case he will never forget and still hoping they will solve. But Tegg tells me the death of Dewana will make things more difficult to do that. Is the case over with now, or?
Absolutely not. We have detectives in a cold case unit that are continuing to look at the case, see if there's anything that was missed.
The Dewana that I know, she was a sweet person. She, very supportive, loved her kids, always talked about her kids. Regardless of what we all think, we can't judge her because we don't know the truth. We don't know what happened to him. At this point, he's still missing. But then that's when she let me know. She said every year, this happens around the same time. Somebody comes out and act like they're him. She said they'll drag it on for a whole month, and then you won't hear anything else about it. And that's exactly what happened.
As of now, Tegg says they're back at the beginning. I asked him if he believed little Dewan was still alive.
Obviously, over this time frame, it's very discouraging for us that we haven't received any other tips or any other information.
Police are are still asking anyone with any new information about this case to call Livonia Police.
I remember seeing a clip, and I think it was the FBI agent that was here and participating in that search saying, you know, we're going to continue looking, whether it's a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we're going to learn something. Now we're 30 years, almost to the date of him disappearing. Just what do you make of the time that's passed and just...
Well, as you've seen in other cases, I mean, the hopes at this time is, as time passes, you hope that somebody has heard or knows something about this case from 30 years ago, and that somebody with a heart that, you know, knows what really happened would come forth and call our department and, you know, give us some information that we could follow up on and hopefully bring the case to a resolution. And that's really the hopes at this point. We're always accepting tips, and we're hoping that, you know, somebody who either knows where Dewan is or knows what happened to him would call us and give us that information that we could follow up on and actually resolve the case.
Do you still feel to this day that Dewan Sims knew what happened to Dewan?
Yes, I do. For the fact that when we watch those videos, she's reporting to us that they went to Wonderland Mall, and we know that's not true. After extensive review of the videos, he was never at Wonderland Mall.
Extensive review of the videos, he was never at Wonderland Mall.